goes to this beautiful boy to be alive. What's up, guys? Hope all you guys are having a great Tuesday so far. I think you know this guy right here. Pretty sure you know. If you haven't, go watch back in the May interview, guys. But welcome back to the channel of Main Event Baseball with Ryan right here on YouTube. And for the second time this year, it is my honor and pleasure to have Boise Hawk pitcher, my host for the second year in a row. And what we have a very fun episode ahead of us with Mr. Cam Dayton. Cameron, thank you.
Good to be back.
All right, guys. So all the questions are going to be different from the last interview. So if you haven't seen the last one, go check it out on YouTube on the channel. But Cameron, let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself?
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing baseball since I was 3 years old. Started all the way in T-ball back then, has worked my way up through high school, college, and now playing professionally with the Boise Hawks. Just finished up my first full year with the Boise Hawks. I spent half of last year. That was my first introduction into pro ball, which was a lot of fun. And I got to spend that year as well with the Knipes and with Ryan here, and it was a good time.
Yes, it was. All right. Well, we'll get into all the questions, but number one, what is something unique about you?
Something unique about me. I would say something that's kind of unique is that I have a ton of different hobbies and a ton of different things that I like to do. I like to have a lot of creative outlets, and so I like to look for different things that allow me to express that creativity in different ways, whether it be I've dabbled in video editing, music production, like a bunch of different stuff.
By the way, the intro for the channel, this guy did. So he's the one that gets the credit for it. All right. All right. Well, many of you know that you are a video gamer, but if there's any one video game you play a lot, it's Fortnite. How good of a Fortnite player are you?
I'm decent at best. I have my moments where I do really good. I have my moments where not so much. Just kind of depends on the day. Depends on how tired I am. If it's after a long game and my brain and body are shot, I don't know if I'm going to be performing as highly as I'd want to be. But no, I'm definitely having fun playing it, though, and that's what matters.
No. Do you have a favorite video game other than Fortnite?
A couple. My top ones right now are Rainbow Six Siege, and I also play Rocket League. Those are kind of the main ones. Rainbow Six Siege is kind of the biggest one. I like the competitive aspect of that game, and I like kind of being able to use my brain a little bit in that one. And again, getting to express some creativity in how I play that game, because there's a lot of options there.
And all that. So, well, you got to go to Ogden this year, second year in a row. Beautiful stadium, but you got to go to Lagoon. How was that?
Yes, I did. So when I was out there the first time that we took the road trip out there, my parents were able to come out, which is awesome. Shout out to them. How's it going, y'all? Back in Texas, gonna be joining them soon. But so when they were out there, one of the things we decided to do was go out to Lagoon, which is a theme park out there. It's kind of a theme park oasis out there. There's not many other theme parks around the area. And it was really cool to get to go there. As anyone that knows me will tell you that I'm just a massive theme park nerd. I love roller coasters. I love all this stuff. And so getting to go out there, ride some different, unique rides, get some coaster credits under my belt, that was a lot of fun. And then obviously spending the time with my family at that theme park was awesome as well.
Do you have a favorite ride?
At Lagoon, definitely Cannibal. Cannibal was the big, it's like a big like dive coaster. It's got like a beyond 90-degree drop, a couple inversions. It was really fun.
I've lived here in Boise, guys, for like 20 years. I've never been to Lagoon, and I've been to Salt Lake too many times. I will be going next year, though, so can't wait for that.
It's a good time, definitely recommend.
So this is kind of the big one. So if any of you guys were at Pioneer League games this year, or Boise Hawk games, there was something that Cameron got to do with the Hawks this year that he did not last year. We don't play extra innings in the Pioneer League. We do a home run derby if it goes to extra innings. But the one thing that was new, every Saturday was home run derby before the game, sometimes before and after. And Cameron, one thing he did not get to do last year is be in that. He got to participate in that this year. So how was that?
That was a lot of fun. So, I mean, it was cool that they kind of introduced the whole home run derby thing every Saturday. It didn't really mean anything other than just a cool experience for the fans and things like that. But I was fortunate enough to get the call to get to hit in the home run derby, and I had an absolute blast doing it. Got to win a couple, which was really fun, and got to flash the bat a little bit, which, who knows, might have had a little bit of impact in getting me in the lineup in some of the later games too. So who knows? But yeah, I had so much fun doing it. It was a lot of fun getting to go out, especially in front of the Boise crowd. Every time you hit a home run, you know it because the crowd goes crazy. It was just an amazing.
They know a home run when they see it.
Oh yeah.
And there was something unique about it. It was the gold ball. So explain that. You would be able to explain that.
Yeah. So at the end of every round that you hit in the home run derby, they would have one gold ball, and if you hit the gold ball out, then you would get 2 points per home run, per gold ball, rather than the regular 1 point per home run. And I did manage to get, I think, 1 or 2 of those out of there. It's kind of a struggle, though, and what you don't realize when you're not down there actually hitting it, the gold ball, especially at night, is very hard to see. Like, you need a really good batter's eye in order to have a chance at even seeing it. And even then, like, it blends in so well. And so that's what honestly makes the gold ball so much harder to hit out of the yard, is just you can't see the darn thing.
It's not shiny like this.
Right, yeah. I guess there's a reason that baseballs are made white with either red or, in the Pioneer League, blue stitching. It's just easier to pick out where the ball is in space.
And all that. So, Dakota Connors, guys, and this was not on the question list, but Dakota Connors, guys, if you don't know, he was our first base coach and all that. He did get to play a couple of games, and that's where I wanted to ask you that. Obviously, there was a lot of controversy about that. But what was your take on Dakota Connors getting in the lineup?
I mean, we had a role that needed to be filled, and it was really cool that he was able to step up, and especially just thinking about the idea of, like, you know, someday my career is going to be over just like every other baseball player. And just the experience for him had to be amazing, of getting to kind of come back and kind of get that extra little bit when you think everything's going to be over. That had to be exciting for him. It was exciting for us to watch, especially he comes out the first game, pokes a base hit, I think drives in a run or something like that. And it was just really awesome to witness him do that, and to see someone that's, like, you know, one of our leaders as well, being one of our coaches, and comes out and does that as well. It's just it was really a really cool moment.
Yes. Got to be honest with you. I remember Cash, a manager, telling me at the beginning of the year he has a 1,000 fielding percentage. Be honest with you guys, he plays second base pretty good. If you haven't seen Dakota Connors with a glove, go check it out. It's something you will not want to miss. So, shout out Dakota, by the way. The other thing Cam did not get to do last year is be in the starting rotation. Obviously, he started in the bullpen and all that. How did that feel?
Getting to start games?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely my goal for this year, was to try and work my way into the starting rotation. And it was exciting to get to be that guy that's coming out at the beginning of the game, get the full announcement and everything. And it's a fun experience, because you feel like you have full control of the momentum of the game. And some guys might find that daunting. I always loved having that extra control to be able to go in and, like, you know, when I have a good game, it gives our team a very, very good shot. And it's definitely like an exhilarating feeling being put in that position.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna call you a 2A now, pitcher, but he's a 2A. Trust me. So every pitcher's different when it comes to strike zone. What would you prefer? A big strike zone, small strike zone, tight strike zone?
So because I'm a 2A, I have a unique perspective on this.
Okay.
Because as a pitcher, obviously, I want the bigger strike zone.
Exactly.
I want it to be bigger because that gives me more room to work, and especially if you take out kind of the challenge system thing, and you can work on expanding the zone with your catcher.
Exactly.
The more you can get that outside corner, that inside corner, up and down, it just gives you way more tools that you can work with. From a hitting standpoint, that's brutal. And so I would want the smallest strike zone. But at the same time, you don't want it to be too small. And I would say one big example of that was we had a game this year against Idaho Falls, where the strike zone was about that big.
I remember
and
it.
right down the middle. And when you have the top two offensive lineups going against each other with a strike zone that makes it to where only the ball down the middle is a strike, that game was a 19-24 game and lasted, I think, over 5 hours.
It did, yes.
That is a little small.
And it was not here. It was in Idaho Falls, guys.
It was in Idaho Falls, yeah. That's a small strike zone. I don't think it needs to be that small. Even as a pitcher, that was kind of brutal.
Yeah. And everybody wanted to know, like, it was not a sloppy game, guys. It was just teeny tiny strike zone. So. But it was a fun game to watch, believe it or not. So.
Oh yeah, lots of action, lots of hitting.
Yeah. So as a pitcher, and I asked every player this who's been on, the challenge in the Pioneer League. I know a lot of people do not like it. I know some players aren't a fan of it. What's your perspective?
The challenge system, it has its pros and cons. And the reason it's implemented is because of the fact that, the umpires are human.
Yeah.
But I would say part of the game, especially the art of pitching and catching, is kind of playing into that side and being able to expand a strike zone. So from a pitching standpoint, I definitely like the ability of being able to establish a strike zone, expand it, and playing that game with the umpire of trying to earn those extra strikes on the outside corner, inside corner, and playing the game that way.
Right.
But again, from a hitting standpoint, I also understand that it makes it tough sometimes when you have a guy with plus stuff that's getting the ball 2 balls off the plate. It's almost impossible on top of an already impossible task. So I understand holding umpires accountable. I wonder what would happen if you looked at maybe some different ideas for reform, maybe making it to where, like, you only get 2 challenges, but if you get it right, you don't have a limited number, you can keep getting them right, kind of thing.
Right.
That might be a different way of implementing
Get it right, you don't lose it.
Yeah, rather than having the 3-and-3 system and then you run out of challenges.
Yeah.
Because that would make it to where it's only being used in the top most crucial situations, and if you lose it, it has a little more impact on whether you're able to use a challenge later in the game or not. So it makes it to where it's only used on the crucial pitches. And I feel like that would be kind of a better scenario. Sorry, flies.
Yeah, the flies want to be in, guys. And not that I had to make a joke on that. All right, so like I said, it is a two-way. So you and I had this conversation at the beginning of the year. We had it last night. If you would you give up pitching to be a position player? Would you want to be a two-way?
It's a tough question because I enjoy doing both a lot. And I really enjoy the competitiveness of going out and battling guys from a mental standpoint with pitching. I also really enjoy the battle of going up there as a hitter and trying to figure out what the pitcher's trying to do and trying to do the impossible and get a hit off of professional pitching. And it's tough because I feel like my response more comes down to less about which one I like more and more about which one I feel like I would have a better shot at. And right now it's a tough question to answer.
Yeah.
If I can develop some things from a pitching standpoint, then pitching could end up being the tool that gets me further in the game.
Okay.
If I get the chance to get into a lineup on a regular basis, that could be the tool that gets me into the game. But I also don't know that for sure. It's something that has to be tested, tried and true, and so it's up in the air. Preferably, I'd like to do both, and I'd like to explore both as long as I can, as long as I'm not sacrificing one for the other.
Right.
And whatever tool ends up being the stronger tool would be the one that I would prefer to go with.
That's a great answer. So I actually got to go back to one question on the home run derby. So every Saturday, we explained it, guys, but every Saturday, yeah, if you wanted to come out, this guy got assigned the majority of the time. So how do you prepare for that? I mean, obviously, you sometimes know the night before that, hey, you're going to be in the home run derby. But if you're someone, as a pitcher, you're not in the lineup a lot, how do you prepare for that? I mean, it's got to be a little challenging, right?
A little bit. I would say, especially early in the season when I wasn't hitting on a regular basis, there was definitely more of a priority on pitching. It would be a thing where, like, the day of, I'd go into the cages, try and brush up on my swing, and see what I can do there. I know the big focus on the home run derby is obviously getting lift. The easy way to get lift is just catch the ball out front. So I would just practice catching the ball out front, getting lift, and then just letting letting where the pitch comes in and everything like that do what it's supposed to do, and just trust that I'm repeating the swing as much as I can. Once I started getting more at-bats later in the season, started hitting more BP, and the swing started getting a little more focused, it made it a lot easier to do that. It made it a lot easier to be like, okay, today I'm going to have a home run derby. Let's have a round where I catch the ball out front, maybe focus on that a little bit. And it allows me to compartmentalize the swings, and it makes it to where my game swing wouldn't get messed up by my home run swing, pretty much.
And got to be honest with you, the very first home run derby he was in, I was out of town, and he won it. Like, he dominated it. So, bad luck for me, but it was a great round to watch. So, and all that. And I got to see one thing that he talked about last year, swinging the bat. So, the Shohei Ohtani right now, but of the Hawks. But, all right, so now we're going to get into Rocky Mountain. Now, I've explained this, guys. We did not play the Vibes this year. If in case you don't know, they play in Colorado Springs, Colorado, in a AAA stadium. We were playing against the Sky Sox. I felt really bad for them. I will have a link down below in the season. Very interesting season they had. It's in the link below. You'll know why. So you played in front of nobody. That had to be a lot of fun. Tell us about that.
It was definitely bizarre. So imagine a big stadium, and you said it's a AAA stadium. I didn't know that. But imagine a big stadium where no one's in it. It was just quiet games. Usually you have like whenever you do a challenge system, for example, you'd have the whole, the red pocket mobile, you make the call strike zone challenge, and it's overturned to a ball. Instead, they're just like, confirm ball. We're like, cool, thank you.
But, great job, by the way.
So there were definitely some weird things to it. We were also chilling out. We couldn't, so they put the Sky Sox in the visiting locker room.
Oh.
And so we were kind of stuck in the home auxiliary gym area because we couldn't use the home locker room because they had their stuff stored in there.
Right.
And so that was kind of a challenge as well. On top of the fact they threw the whole schedule off, we were playing at 10 a.m. every day, rather than playing our usual 7 p.m. games. And so there were some pros and cons to that as well. The main pro was that, you get done with the game, you have the whole evening to hang out with the guys, and there was definitely a lot of team bonding that happened that trip, which was a lot of fun. And the guys I was hanging out with there definitely helped make that experience special. Shout out to Quinn, Underwood, Locklear, and all the other guys I was hanging out with on that trip. Yeah, no, it was an interesting experience, especially kind of going from the big crowd that we had at Boise to no one. And some funny things, some bad things, some good things. It is what it is. We were still playing baseball, so I can't complain.
Baseball is the same, but it had to feel like COVID a little bit because no one was in the stands.
Right. It felt like COVID, or you could also describe it as like the spring training scrimmages that we were doing.
Yes.
But with just a little bit more stakes on the line. It was different, but it wasn't bad.
We'll get back to it because we did have we did play someone here at home in a scrimmage. We will talk about that at the end, but so there is something I've been saying the past 3 weeks, something that he forgot in the preseason interview. It's not his fault. Don't yell at him. But Cam had a new glove designed this past offseason. It was December, I believe, because he sent me it on Snapchat.
Yes.
So, and he has it right here.
Yep. So I have it here. This is the Gamer, the Daytona Defender, I call it. No, I don't call it that.
No, that's a great nickname.
But I might have to start calling it that. But yeah, so it's a custom 44 glove. I wanted to go with kind of a Western, Southern kind of feel. So we got kind of the blonde snakeskin going accents, and we got the brown kind of leather going as well. And then I've got a couple inscriptions on it. So right here it says Dayton on it.
That's the name. That's
right here it says 500, which is my nickname from last year. I think coined by either Andrew Edwards or Casey Dykstra. Shout out to them. They would
Shout
call
out
me,
Casey, yeah. We miss you, bro.
Yeah, we do. They would call me 500 because of Daytona 500. And then the last inscription is on the inside. Just a little thing that says, tough to see now, it's been worn down, but it says, prove them wrong. And that's just a little personal message, a little personal motto for me. And then I also got the American flag kind of embroidered on there. Kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
right
It's
there.
a really good glove.
Yeah, no, this glove is one of my favorites I've ever especially designed, and one of my favorites I've ever had. I've gotten it nice and broken in how I want it. It's stiff kind of on the sides, but allows me to close it nice and easy so I get a nice pocket. It's been feeling good all season. I will likely rock it next season too. It's still in mint condition, so I see no reason to switch things out at this point.
And guys, if you don't want to, if you need to know about that glove, they're very common over in like the KBO in Japan. He even asked me about it in the off season about it. Like he sent me the snap and said, "What do you think?" and all that. I gave him the
Well, I had to
background.
get opinions, right?
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
to
I
make
mean,
sure
and
other
you have to
people
go to
liked
me,
it.
of course. Yeah, but yeah, guys. So really good glove though, and you know, but so now we're going to get to kind of the end. I had to write this question. So if you guys don't know, shout out Sean Prinsky, man. I'm gonna miss you, bro. Miss you. Thank you for being a great friend. Sean Prinsky, guys. I'm gonna let Cam describe his background. It is a really incredible background for a baseball coach. I will get to that in a minute. But he served as 3 roles, as I call it. He managed some games. This year, he was our hitting coach and ended as our pitching coach. And I gotta ask, as you know, a pitcher standpoint, hitter, how did you like him as pitching coach?
As pitching coach, I would say as any coach, he was a great role model. He definitely had the right approach as far as like pushing guys when they need to be pushed and kind of being just that good person outside of that. Very funny guy,
Yes.
and even though he might seem intimidating at first,
He's not
but that-
intimidating.
He's intimidating when you hear about his background, which it's
really good.
impressive. It's very impressive. He was in the military. He has a Purple Heart for his service. He has some outstanding stories and an outstanding outlook on like putting in effort, motivation, and everything that you need to be an athlete, because all of those things are required in the military, as far as I've been told, at least. I can't speak from experience, but I can imagine. I mean, it's some heroic stuff that they do in the military. My heart goes out to every single one that's ever been or is in service now. And yeah, it's amazing having that kind of role model with you every day. You get to learn a lot of life lessons and a lot of different things. And yeah, he was just a great person to have, both as when he was just kind of the hitting coach, the pitchers didn't interact with him very much, but he was still around. And then when he became the pitching coach, that's when we all got a lot closer to him, especially on the pitching staff.
Yes. And the funny thing is, guys, I was at Capitol High School with the team, and that is when I got my eyes on Sean Prusky. And I've seen him be intimidating. He's not intimidating. He's a really nice guy.
He really is. He warms up to you really quick.
He does, yes.
He can still be tough when he needs to be tough, like I said, and he has every right to be in some of those instances. And it's the perfect blend, and that's one of the things. That's the best way I can describe it.
So yes, guys, at the end of the video, I will have a photo of me and Sean Prusky so you can see it, guys. And all that. Sean, we're going to miss you. Can't wait to see you back next year, hopefully. And as always, thank you for your service, my man. But so now we're going to get back to preseason, and we only played one exhibition game at home against the Black Sox. You didn't pitch in the game, you didn't play in the game, but you do remember the game. It was freezing cold.
Yeah.
It was not a big crowd, barely anybody. I was there. And all that. I was there because Javier Ramos ended up pitching. Javier, we miss you, bro. Love you. And all that. He's actually going to be on the channel pretty soon, so we'll have that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to have to look out for that one.
And he is a former minor leaguer, so we'll have all that down below. But Black Sox, you weren't here last year for it, so what was your impression? First time seeing the Black Sox, what was your impression?
Well, I mean, it's a professional team. You got to expect professional players, and that's exactly what I saw. It was a bunch of guys that were dedicated to the game, that were playing like mad, fighting like everything they could just to try and win a ball game. And that's exactly what we wanted to see out of a preseason team as far as playing them, because we want that same level of competition.
Right, yes.
And it's a way for us to kind of test the waters with the team and see how we're going to look throughout the season. So definitely a great experience getting to play them preseason, and a good way of kind of getting our feet wet at the beginning of the season.
And if you need the video, guys, it is on the channel. For that game, I had the Black Sox warming up. I actually know their manager, guys. They start the season in January, by the way, in Florida. So they've been, their last game, it was against us. So shout out to those guys and all that. But and one thing about the Black Sox, I want to get your opinion on. We had 2 players on our spring training roster end up playing for them. In uniform, but in a Hawks hat.
Right.
That had to be fun. So, what was your thoughts about that?
Yeah. So the whole reason that happened is obviously the Black Sox, to my understanding, is the kind of team they kind of parade around the United States. Their whole goal is to get their guys signed onto independent or affiliated teams. By the time they came to play us, since we were the last game of the series for them, or of the season for them, they had a lot of guys go. And so when they got to us, literally, from what I heard, I think it was their center fielder and one of their pitchers had just gotten picked up to another team right before they came to play us. And so they had some holes that they needed to fill. We had some spare guys because we brought a decent amount of guys into spring training that needed to get looked at, and it was a great way for those guys to also get some more exposure to Cash and to the rest of the staff, and so they could showcase their skills even more. So it was a great opportunity there as well for them, on top of just kind of funny seeing Hawks jerseys on the other side, and things like that.
Hawks hat, yeah.
Hawks hats on a Sky Sox jersey. That's what it was.
Yeah. And guys, if you ever want to buy Black Sox stuff, I'll have it down in the link below. I'm very familiar with their manager and all that. So, but before we go, Cam, you did this in the preseason interview. But I got family watching this interview, and they asked me to do this, so that's why I have a baseball. You're a pitcher. You have a new pitch this year, so you'll get to that.
Right.
What pitches do you throw?
All right. So I got 5 pitches, and my grips have changed a little bit.
They have, yes.
Just because I've been kind of doing some pitch development and things like that, just as the season goes on, trying to get more competitive every day. So we start off with the 4-seam fastball. Used to have it a lot more spread out, which was killing a little bit of spin. So I got the fingers closer together, thumb underneath, things like that. I also have my 2-seam fastball that I throw across the seam just because I like feeling the seams push here. And that gets a little more sink than the 4-seam. 4-seam gets a little more ride. I then have the circle change. This one's the same as the first interview. Circle change usually gets a little bit of horizontal and a little bit of depth. Kind of similar to the 2-seam sinker, just a little slower. I also have the splitter, and the splitter I hold just like that. Kills a lot of rotation, causes it to more do a straight down tumble rather than having a lot of arm side. Sometimes it'll arm side, sometimes it'll cut. I don't control that. Makes it harder for the hitter to pick it up because how do they know what's happening when I don't know what's happening? And then finally, I've got my funky curveball slider sweeper grip, which is right here. A lot of guys will do the full C around the ball. I like to get the thumb on top because it gives me a little more control, and I feel like I can kill some speed while maintaining spin by having the third contact point on there. And then when I release, pop the thumb, and that causes the ball to spin pretty hard without coming out too terribly fast. Gives me a lot of movement, little velo, and so I get a lot of speed difference there.
Awesome. And then I actually have a couple more, actually, now that I thought of it.
Fire away.
So, your pitcher, if you could compare yourself to an MLB pitcher, who would that be? It's a tough one, I know.
It is a tough one. I feel like the style that I try and emulate the most is Maddox at this point.
That's a good one.
Try and be as command pinpointy as I can. I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm as good as Maddox. I don't think anyone is.
He's a beast.
But that's who I definitely try and emulate.
Okay. And as a hitter, well, I call him Shohei Ohtani because he's literally the only guy that was a pitcher and a position player. I have Cam's positions in college down below. But if you could be a hitter, who would you relate to?
Tougher question. I haven't thought about it in a while.
Well, I mean, you weren't hitting last year. That's
right.
I mean,
one of the swings I've been really enjoying watching as of recent, and honestly I've been trying to kind of emulate, is Freddie Freeman on the Dodgers. And I think he's got a gorgeous swing, a gorgeous approach, and there's definitely some things that I've been stealing from his process and his perspective that has I've been trying to get my swing to emulate as well. So that would probably be one of my closer comps as of recent.
All right, guys, as always, that is my interview with Cam Dayton. Cameron, thank you for coming back on. He goes home tomorrow, so Mr. and Mrs. Dayton, You get your boy home tomorrow from me. I'm going to miss him, but
I'll be
thank
home
you,
soon.
Cameron.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, man. And all right, guys, as always, that's Cameron. Our next guest, guys, will be Javier Ramos. That will be in the next couple of weeks. And then, as a surprise guest, I will be sitting down with the Colorado Springs manager down the line, guys. I will have more info in that interview as it is available. But again, guys, Cam Dayton.